Arizona with Spiritual Humans Productions on Twitch TV. Well, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's raining. Holy shit! How'd that happen? Well, anyhow, I apologize because I just, I know I'm a little bit late, but I just got out of watching Elvis, the movie. It just came out today. It made its debut, and wow, it was pretty interesting. It had a lot of I want to say biography of Elvis in it. They presented the movie from the viewpoint of Colonel Parker, who was Elvis's manager. They go in, and the movie suggests that he was overshadowed by a being. I don't know who. It could have been a Melchizedek. It could have been Saint Germain. I don't know who. But it suggests that as a kid he went to some kind of revival and was possessed. I don't know if that's the right word, but in a sense of speaking, he was he just like was possessed by some spirit. He became some spirit donned his body, and it could, like I said, it could have been Saint Germain. It could have been Melchizedek. Could have been somebody else. I don't know, but and I don't know for how long he overshadowed Elvis, but that seemed to be what kicked in one of his first concerts, which was in I don't know if it was in Tennessee, but anyhow, it was very interesting in terms of how they presented this movie. It was pretty trippy. So anyhow, time out. I just have I'm low on gas, and I just have to make sure that I have enough gas to get to the gas station. But anyhow, they made a lot of connections in this movie between Elvis Presley and B.B. King and James Brown, suggesting that they were James Brown and B.B. King and Elvis Presley were actually pretty connected with each other. Elvis at one point goes and visits, I believe, I want to say downtown Tennessee, and goes and he's just having a bad hair day, so he goes, I'm just going to get the hell out of here, and he goes downtown and goes to some little place where James Brown is cutting the carpet there, right? So anyhow, he connects with B.B. King. I believe it was B.B. King, and he's having a hard time because they're suggesting because of his movement, because of him being an artist, a music artist, they want to put him in jail. So it was very interesting. Some of these connections I had never known about, and it was very so I was kind of blown away that society can go in and mandate that artists produce what they want the artist to produce instead of what the artist wants to produce, right? As long as it's not hurting anybody, it's not and as long as it's not abusing anybody, who gives a fuck? Just like being here on Twitch. That's what I love about Twitch. People try to be my babysitter, or try to be my mom. I call people up and some business, a bank or some kind of business place, and they try to tell me, well, you can't cuss, and if you're going to cuss, we're going to hang up on you. Well, fuck you, asshole. Cussing is a freedom of speech. So I tell them, cussing is a freedom of speech. You're not my mom. You're not my bitch. You're not my babysitter. Who are you to tell me and judge me on my freedom of speech? Fuck you. If you don't like it here, go to some other country and live where there is no freedom of speech. What the fuck is that all about, right? So it's like that. So that's what was going on with Elvis Presley. He was being himself. He was being an artist. He wasn't abusing anybody. I don't abuse people. I don't go and tell people to fuck you and fuck off. I don't assault people with profanity, right? It's like that. I don't go around and if I want to express anger and say fuck it or fuck off, that's my freedom of speech. But Elvis Presley was doing the same thing. He was doing his music and doing his dance, doing his hip action, and they wanted to arrest him for it. What bullshit is that, right? Just like today, they overturned Roe versus Wade. And who overturned Roe versus Wade? Who are these justices that of the Supreme Court that made this turn, that overturned this ruling? Men, mostly white Caucasian people, mostly people that are married and have kids and have no fucking idea of what abortion is, not even for a second. What the fuck is wrong with these people, right? They have no experience, no idea what abortion's all about. And if you watch the movie The Jane, if you haven't watched it, I believe it's on Netflix or HBO. I think it's on HBO. But anyhow, if you watch the movie called The Jane, it's a documentary on all these women back in the 70s that were getting abortions, and some of them were dying. And even today, I was on the internet, and some woman, I can't remember, it was a Brazilian model, I believe it was. I don't know if she died, but I believe she died. She had an abortion recently, I believe. I didn't read the article, but that's what it seemed like. And then I believe she died or had some major complications afterwards, after the fact. Even today, 2022, women are still dying from abortion, is what I understand, right? So it's like that. So anyhow, Elvis goes out and they say, well, you can't do any of this hip action or otherwise we're going to arrest you. What does he do? Oh yeah, fuck you guys. And he just goes into his being the artist that he is. So they arrested him for being an artist. What kind of bullshit is that? And then what do? They turned around and put him in the army. They threw him in the army because he wanted to be the artist, and they didn't want him to be the artist. Well, fuck you. That's what I say. And it made me realize that my next step to society, my next gift to society, is to present the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe always and will always, forevermore, supersede mankind laws. Period. Mankind law. Mankind is still a kid, still a teenager. They still don't know what the fuck they're doing yet. They're still working on learning how to be evolved, enlightened, a master, ascended citizen, ascended being. That's what's happening. Mankind doesn't know how to do that yet. Not on a large scale level. And that's what my intention is with this channel. And if you want to learn more about it, stick around, see what happens. So anyhow, it was very interesting that they would put Elvis in and that was like a jail for him going into the army. But I gotta say this, there's a reason for the darkness. There's a reason for negativity. This universe can't exist without the darkness, without negativity. They balance each other out, the light and the darkness. It's all part of the same program. If there wasn't negativity, if there wasn't darkness, if there wasn't evilness, Satan, if you want to call it that, then there would never be change. Everything would be the same 24/7, 365, forever and ever, amen, right? So it's like that. So and I can't say I welcome darkness and evilness into my life, but people need to be able to work go with the flow. Years and years ago, I tripped off a roof, broke both my heels in Sedona, Arizona, and that was the message, the big message that I had from doing that, from that happening. Go with the flow, and if you go with the flow, it's like going down a stream on a river. If you tighten up and lock your body up, something's going to happen. Something's going to break. You're going to get lodged into some rock or something, and you're going to get hurt. But if you just allow yourself to surrender, in fact, just yesterday, I was working with a client. I was doing an Ascension intuition session with a student, and that's what we talked about. We did the whole session, most of the session on surrendering yourself to the universe, surrendering yourself to change, surrendering yourself to your environment. And with that, people on this planet, they think, oh yeah, I'm in this political position and I have all kinds of power. Well, they have no fucking goddamn idea what power really is. They really don't. Power is being one with the universe. There's no more power than that. Oh, well, I take it back. There might be a bit more power if you become one with all the universes throughout all the universes, right? If you're one with all the universes, maybe that's a lot more power than just being one with the universe, but otherwise there's no more power than that. I don't give a fuck who you think you are on this planet. There's no more power than that, period. I guarantee you 100%. Or your money back, right? It's like that. So anyhow, they arrest Elvis for doing his gyrations and singing and doing his passion, being him, right? And then they throw him in the army and he comes back, and and then the colonel, he makes a deal. He makes a deal with the devil. Well, maybe not the devil, but he makes a deal with the mob. I'm almost sure of it. Colonel Parker's, his passion was going out and gambling, and he was in huge debt with the mob. He fucked up, right? So it's like that. And not only that, but come to find out that this guy is an alien, illegal alien from some other country. I believe Germany is what I understand. But anyhow, so he makes a deal with the mob, and the mob says, well, bring this guy. They open up a brand new casino, I believe, or hotel. I think it was a casino. Anyhow, and they say, well, bring this guy. They had Elvis go in and do some concerts so that they can promote the hotel so they can make some money, right? So it was a marketing scheme. It was a business deal. So in the meantime, the debt that Colonel Parker owes to the mob, which was, I think, over $8 million. I can't remember. I don't remember. But anyhow, they go, well, your debt will be wiped clean, so as long as you bring Elvis back to do concerts every year, and then on top of that, Colonel Parker wouldn't allow Elvis to go overseas and do concerts. Again, another place where he fucked up at. And I believe if he would have allowed him to do so, Elvis might even be still alive today. I don't even know. It's a possibility. Now, the other thing that was suggested is that, well, Elvis found out that Colonel Parker was using him and fucking him over, and not only that, but that he was an illegal alien. I believe they were suggesting that he was an illegal alien, and then they turn around and Elvis goes, well, Colonel, you're fired, right? So he goes and fires Colonel Parker, and then Colonel Parker goes, well, in that case, you owe me all this money. Or again, another several $1 million. And but how can he owe Colonel Parker any money if Colonel Parker doesn't even exist and is an illegal alien? Again, I think if they would have thought about that sooner, then Elvis Presley would have not been so bummed out. I think he was pretty depressed towards the end, and so he ended up going and taking all kinds of meds. And again, the Colonel Parker now, one of the things that was suggested, it was that Colonel Parker set Elvis up. They suggest that they didn't, Colonel Parker didn't want Elvis Presley going overseas to do concerts because there was death threats. Well, I think, and it's suggested, that Colonel Parker set all that up. He hired people to go in and threaten Elvis, his life, because he didn't want him going overseas. That's one of the things that I don't think was actually explained or put out there, but I have a feeling, I have a sense that Colonel Parker set all that up. He hired people to fuck with Elvis, which wasn't cool. And so, energetically wise, that starts to take a toll on Elvis. And towards the end, he's more or less committing suicide. But it's also suggested that the mob actually killed or murdered Elvis. Now, how true is that? I have yet to confirm that, but that's something that may be needed to be addressed. So that's undetermined, and I again, it's just a suggestion. So now, in the end, Elvis was depressed. I think because he probably felt imprisoned and lonely. They've suggested that he was really lonely, and so it was a life that he lived, but he had the ups and he had the downs, and eventually the downs was what led to his death. And it says at the end that Colonel Parker tried to sue Elvis and take Graceland from Elvis, but lawyers turned around and sued his ass, and they determined that he was an illegal alien, is what I understand. And so anyhow, Colonel Parker, I think he died already, but I don't think that guy, and he put Elvis on the map. I can say that again, with the negativity that was there, it was able to move him on and promote change with him and his life and his career. But in the end, it never evolved, it never advanced, and the light didn't come in and support him in the way that he needed it. But then again, there wasn't a lot of spiritual people around him. His mother, I think, was spiritual. His father was the business manager, and I don't know how spiritual that guy was, but from what the movie portrayed, I didn't seem like he was very spiritual at all. So I don't know. He didn't have a lot of spiritual life other than when he was a kid. He grew up in a black community, I believe Tennessee. I don't know why I'm confusing that, or seem to be confusing that, but I believe he grew up in Tennessee in a black neighborhood, and he'd go out and listen to all this jazz music, which is what those communities are known for, the jazz, right? So, and then he went to a revival where I believe it's suggested that that's where he he was overshadowed by the spirit being, whoever it was, and then his career took off later on. So it was like that. So it was a pretty interesting. It was more of a biography than anything else, it seemed like, but it was. I think it was well done. I think there's still room for improvement, but it was still pretty well done, and enough. I think enough to be able to grab some awards from the Academy further down the road. But we'll see what happens, and I'm sure of it. So anyhow, now one of the things that was very interesting was at the very end when they did the credits. They did the credits in like a gold. Well, years ago, I used to have a show called the Golden Age Psychic Show, and we did some live presentations, and we did put some flyers, and we went to Kudos in Sedona, Arizona, and one of the young ladies there she literally did my the Golden Age Psychic Show. She graphically designed it in gold with gold fonts. It was and I still have it today. It looks pretty cool. I have to go double check it, but it seems like it's exact same fonts that they use for the credits at the end of this movie, which was really interesting. So to me, it's either way, it suggests that the Golden Age now is one with the Aquarian Age, which are both full-fledged in their 100% or in their 100% activity. So I'm pretty sure we're 100% in the Golden Age and 100% in the Aquarian Age, which are going to be for hundreds of years to come, over 2,000 years, 2,500 years to come. And so we are no longer in the dawning of the age of Aquarius, as the song goes, right? Years ago, but we're now completely in the full-fledged, full throttle in the Golden Age and the Aquarian Age. So it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to start to develop and evolve. And so this movie definitely suggests the coming of age of the Golden Age and the Aquarian Age becoming one with each other, and Elvis Presley definitely being a part of that transitional process, helping mankind and this planet and the solar system probably, but this planet to help us all make the transition from the Piscean Age into the Golden and the Aquarian Age, which where we're at now. So it'll be interesting. Anyhow, my next movie, Top Gun, and maybe I'll do a review of that next week. But I also want to start doing some. I was planning on doing that tonight, but then I got this idea. I knew this movie was coming out today. I wanted to go see it. Oh my God! I watched some stuff about it last night. There's on YouTube. There's a whole documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but with Priscilla Presley doing a whole presentation of Elvis Presley and his life and her life and so forth. So that's very interesting. I still haven't finished watching that, but I want to go finish watching that and then go from there. But I wanted to do some Ascension intuition practices, and that's what one of my next steps with this. I'm still not versed with Twitch yet. I'm still working on getting versed with it and understanding it and dealing with. But as time as I get to know how this program works, then I'll be able to evolve and work with this better. But meantime, I'm just going with the flow, right? And just taking the easy way, right? So right now, doing this show on my phone seems to be the best route. And in my car, doing this in my car. I'm in my car right now at the movie theater in the parking lot, and I'm doing this in my car. I got good lighting, so why not, right? That's what I say. So maybe I need to do this show in my car, or maybe I just need to travel to other places and explore and experience other places and other dimensions and other activities and other events, and then just come back to report them to you. And then in between, I'll do some meditations and some Ascension intuition practices and whatever else, and go from there. So anyhow, I'm just and this will be, I think this is going to be like the radio show that I used to do on Blog Talk Radio. I used to do a variety of shows: the Golden Age Psychic Show, the Golden Age Channeling Show, Andrew Aloha Live, where I interviewed people from all over the world, some that were on CNN or the Oprah Winfrey Show or Coast to Coast or the History Channel and all kinds of places. And then I used to do a relationship show, Intimacy, Tantra, and Relationship Psychically Fulfilled, right? That's a mouthful. And then all kinds of other stuff. But anyhow, as I did that show, it just kind of evolved. It literally took a life of its own and started evolving and doing and going into all these directions. And I was just going with the flow, just going with it, right? So it got to be pretty interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff in it. And then Blog Talk Radio, towards the end, really started fucking with me. And then they took my shows down. So after I quit them, they unplugged most of my shows. So like 7-8 years worth of shows, they took them all down, which is bullshit. When does YouTube ever do that unless you violate some of the laws or rules or guidelines? And when does Twitch ever do that unless you violate their rules and guidelines, right? What a bunch of bullshit. But anyhow, I won't do that again, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, I think I gotta go eat. I'm hungry, right? Isn't that what you Twitch people always do? You're always eating on Twitch. Well, I don't have any food to eat here while I'm talking to you, so I'm just gonna go find somewhere to eat and then go from there. And I'm not gonna take you guys with me because you don't want to see me eating. It probably isn't very nice, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Have a guide us weekend. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.